Ain't turning back. Now that I'm back on track, yeah. Take my word for it. Put a couple bands on it. And I don't plan on letting people turn me. No. You can say what you want. I'ma keep pressing on. I came about that thing like I'm feeling green, right? Talking to my past life. Focus on my great life.
Welcome to Breaking the Silence. I hope y'all are having a great time out there because I know we sure are, and the fun has just begun, right?
Yeah, it has just begun.
Because you know, Breaking the Silence has to bring the laughter, has to bring the excitement, has to bring what? The energy.
It's not silence anymore.
No, it is not. That's why we're called Breaking the Silence, because we're definitely breaking the silence. But for those who are just joining us that have never watched our talk show, welcome, welcome. My name is Francisca.
I'm Nori.
And I'm Angelique.
And we are Breaking the Silence. We are a women's talk show that brings you fun, entertainment, and informs you with a little bit of a BTS twist.
There you go.
Right?
Always.
We always got to have the twist to everyday topics, and today's show is no different. So ladies, grab your purse. Hold your person close to you because we're going to be talking about consumer rights for women and seniors. Protect your purse, ladies. Hold on to it. Hold on to it. All right?
There you go.
And while you're holding on to that purse, let's go ahead and make some memories. We're going to be making memories, crafting with our grandchildren. Yeah.
Do you have grandchildren already?
Sometimes I feel like I do have grandchildren, so maybe I should gather them all together and start, crafting with them and building memories. Let me start the scrapbook already. Already. And we have a little segment called Getting Real with Me. So we're going to be getting real on a topic that, when I tell you, I did some research on this topic and I heard the story, I said, there's no way.
There is no way.
We have to cover this story on Getting Real. So let me just give you two words: granny and thief. That's all I'm gonna say about this.
That's it. No more. Don't say anything else.
Oh my gosh, it gets so good. So definitely stay with us in this hour because you're really going to enjoy everything that we're going to talk about and inform you on. So we'll be right back.
Don't change the channel. We will be right back with more Breaking the Silence.
I surrender.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's up?
Do we have a gun?
Are you in need of prayer? Call 1-888-332-4141 or text 1-888-312-4141. You don't have to suffer in silence.
You are watching Breaking the Silence.
On Breaking the Silence, we aim to broaden your horizons on a variety of topics.
Justification that comes with any addiction.
Beneficial advice you can use in your daily life.
But as you mature, you have to be with someone who matures with you.
Let's explore today's topic together on Breaking the Silence.
Do you know what time it is? Nori, what time is it?
It is time for our question of the day, because Breaking the Silence is not breaking the silence without this question, right?
Without the question of the day,
there
right?
You go.
All right, so let us get into the question of the day. What does lifting each other up mean to you? So this is the question of the day. Yeah, I really do like this question. This is a very, very good question. Yeah. So we're going to be giving our answers and our responses later on in the program. But this question of the day is for our viewers. So this is the question for you, and you can go ahead and leave your responses on at our Instagram page. There you go, there's the QR code right there. You can go ahead and scan it or go to breakingthesilence_talk show. So there you'll be able to leave your responses to our question of the day, and maybe we'll read some of your responses on air at the end of the program. So definitely stay tuned and see if your response was read on air. So ladies, like I said, grab your purses.
Yes.
Get
Grab
ready.
it, hold on to it, and don't let it go.
Exactly. Because nowadays with technology has advanced so much that now women and seniors are victim to scams.
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to be talking about in this segment, about how to protect yourself and just bringing awareness to the different kind of scams that are out there.
And that is something that we definitely need to change, because nowadays you're seeing it more frequent, and if we don't keep ourselves informed, if we don't inform our loved ones, us as well as our loved ones can fall victims too.
Yeah.
And that's why we're going to shed some light on some of the protection laws and also some tips what they can do to protect their loved ones.
Yes.
Yeah, and like I said, women and seniors, they're the ones that are more likely to be victimized from the scammers. They're the ones that are really sought after. They go after them because they know that they're all alone, they're isolated, they're vulnerable. A lot of the times they trust what the person is saying on the other line. They trust what they're seeing on their computers. They trust the messages that they're receiving. They don't ever think that it can be a scam, you know? So if you're a younger generation, you can kind of like get hip to checking out and knowing like which ones are scams and which ones are not. But especially with the elderly, they can be tricked so easily.
Exactly, and that's why, like I said before, it's very important for us to educate ourselves. And the FTC is actually a key resource. You know, they enforce consumer protection laws, provide crucial information on scams, which is something that we're seeing a lot. We're seeing it through text message, we're seeing it through emails, we're seeing it through even phone calls as well. You know, certain things or certain, companies that will call pretending to be, healthcare, regarding healthcare and stuff like that. So the FTC is a key resource in order to stay informed. They will give you all the details and everything that you need in order for you to stay protected.
And one of the common scams, this time we're going to be talking about women, romance scams. Who have never heard a story, one or two, about romance, creating fake online profiles, at first they would gain your trust, think that you're loved and they love you so much, especially if you're from a different country, and then they have all of this, and then all of a sudden when they've gained that trust and that confidence or that bond with you, they started asking for, little favors here and there until you can actually get hooked by that trap, by that scam.
Yeah, and then they have even the work frauds.
Yeah.
There's so many people that will call offering you a fake job or saying that you can earn this much money if only you invest, if you buy these products. And then they tell you of all these success stories that have really been able to make thousands and thousands of dollars once they bought this one product or once they bought the package, that they could too also make it. They're called pyramid schemes, right? So we always want to be mindful of those that come around quite often. A lot of the times, jobs are not going to reach out to you. They're going to make postings, there's going to be advertisement, but people are not just going to send you a text and be like, hey, I have a job offer for you, or hey, would you like to make a little bit of extra money? Like, who are you? How did you even get my phone number?
Exactly.
Sometimes we have to stop and think. Just for a second and be like, is this a scam? How did this person get my information? To be able to tell whether or not what I should do.
Yeah, and going a little bit back to what Angeli was talking about, the romance scams, as Angeli was speaking, I remember watching a documentary of a guy, poor thing, he met this woman online and they started dating online, and they would chat all the time, send pictures. Of course, that person or thing was sending fake pictures and stuff like that. And they kept on like that for maybe like about 2 years, almost 2 years. So for 2 years, he was always trying to set up, meetings and stuff like that. And every time the day of came around, something would happen, and she would be like, oh, something came up, I can't do this and that and the other, we're gonna have to reschedule and things like that. Well, it got so intense that she found herself struggling financially. And so she started asking for money. And poor guy, he started sending money. It started off with $100. It started off with $200. The next thing you know, oh, I need help paying my rent. Then rent money was going on and everything else. And his family and friends kept saying, listen, this doesn't sound right. It's been almost 2 years and you still haven't met this person. And so they put him on to like this company that, you know, tracks like, you know, scammers and stuff like that. And little did he know, the whole time it was people from the other side of the world that was actually chatting with him.
Yeah.
And the picture that they were using was actually a woman who was married to a military man, and she had her whole family, children, and everything. And this guy lost just thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, all because of romance scams. So that's something you have to be careful. And like you said, think. All you have to do is just to think a little bit in order to avoid being you know, victims of these kind of scams. So
Exactly.
that right there is something that, you know, everyone has to look out for. But we also have Medicare scams. And this here is very sad because a lot of elderly people, they fall into this. Women, elderly people, as we're talking about, they fall into this scam. You know, scammers, they try to obtain personal information. They, you know, anything about bills or fake services. And this is a major issue that a lot of people are going through. So never ever give out personal information, especially Medicare information as well. That's something sensitive. That's something that is best for you to do in person. That's something that is best for you to sit down and have that person actually, you know, having that face-to-face, that contact, and never doing it over the phone. Because nowadays it's like you can do things over the phone, and next you give your information, and then when you try to call them back, that number is disconnected.
Yeah.
You know,
That's why you should always check the phone numbers that are calling you. Make sure you're calling the actual company, because a lot of the times that will happen. When they call you, you need to hang up, tell them, you know what, I'm gonna call you back, I'm busy, let me call you back. Search their number. A lot of times those numbers will not come back as that company. And I've had to do that a couple times. Search that number, search the company's name, and like nothing comes up. Nothing comes up.
You know, now that you said that, it also reminded me of something that I saw not too long ago. I wanna say maybe like about a month, 2 months ago, where people were receiving phone calls about anything and everything. Could have been about Medicare or anything like that. And they would want you to say, once you say hello, they ask you a question. Let's say, for example, are you Angeli? And once you say yes, they keep that voice. They record your voice, and that's how they're able to access, you know, information and stuff like that through voice recognition and stuff. So that's something else.
So some of the other scams that people are suffering with are tech support. So a lot of times you're going to be on your computer, and all of a sudden it'll say, oh, you've just been hacked, you have a virus. But that is actually the hackers coming into your computer. And as soon as you click on that and say, oh yes, you know, I need the protection or whatever, they have access now to your computers, to your passwords, to all of your information. The charity scam saying that there's a charity going on, a disaster relief effort to donate. A lot of the times they use the disaster at that moment in the hype of everybody wanting to help, but they're actually con artists that are not actually connected to the charities that are trying to help. And in fact, we have grandparent scams as well. And my grandparents were actually a victim of this. The scammers had called my grandparents and told them that I was in an accident, that I was texting and driving and somebody was injured in the accident, and that I was being arrested, and that I was going I needed to be bailed out. And they even had somebody on the call that sounded like me, saying like, Grandpa, you know, come and help me, I need your help. And they were terrified. Because they hadn't seen me in so long, they didn't know what was going on, and all of a sudden I get all these phone calls from my family like, where are you? Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm at work, what's going on? Like, what is the issue? And then they told me what happened. So I told them, like, absolutely not, don't do it. And thank God my grandparents, they thought, and they said, well, let me call the other family members and see where she is. But when I called them and told them, like, hey, no, I'm okay, like, I don't know what this was, my grandpa said it was the weirdest thing, because it sounded just like me.
That is
like
crazy.
the tone, the way that I speak, the speech, like the pacing, everything sounded just like me. But I've heard that, you know, when a lot of the times on our phones, we're just thinking quickly, let me send an audio message. But when we send those audio messages, they're able to receive our audio. And there's AI apps now that a lot of people use where they'll take your voice and they'll put it into this AI and generated voiceover, and they're able to generate your voiceover in different languages with your own kind of tone. So these people are able, these hackers are able to use even your own voice. So if you ever get a family member calling you asking you for money, like call them. Hang up with the person and call the actual person and make sure that they're okay.
Even that, oh my goodness, even that as well, what you just mentioned. I remember one time, this was sometime last year, I got a text message from someone who I know who is in my contacts requesting for money, whether through Cash App and it was weird because at first I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Like if you need help, you need a couple of bucks, that's not a problem. I could send it to you. But then my friend came and we both have her on our contacts and was like, oh, hey, you know, I got a message from so-and-so. I think maybe she's going like through a hard time because she asked me for some. And I was like,
that's a little weird.
That's a little weird. And come to find out, her phone had been hacked.
Yeah.
So it's like this message went out to like all of her contacts. So, and unfortunately, there was some people who had already sent the money. You know, thank God I didn't send the money, but I almost fell for it though, because she's a person that I really know, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, it's not an issue. You need some money, here you go.
Yeah.
But had it not been for that friend who also said it and commented on it right away, I would have sent the money.
Yeah, and like they're getting really like smart these days because they know, okay, you're not gonna answer this phone call because, okay, we're alerting everyone. But now they're doing with text messages as well.
Yeah.
You know, and like very relatable to you. If you have like this bank over here, or you have like maybe toll fees, or maybe you have like home repairs, right, as well. Something that's very relatable to you, like because like our search, right, search engine, that's also being tracked by different apps. So they know what we're looking for, what we're searching for. So even that, they would send you a text message and a link, and once you click that link, it's gonna already get all your information. So even though not only phone calls, but be careful with some messages as well. And sometimes you're even added to groups that without your permission.
Exactly.
And that's really crazy.
Yeah.
Just delete those groups and block them. That's what I do every single time one pops up on my phone. Like I don't even open it. I don't even do anything. I just straight delete it right away.
Yeah.
Because it's like as soon as you open it, you can give them access into your phone and into your things. But there's so many things that you can do in order to keep yourself safe. So definitely you want to have some kind of security device, whether on your phone, on your computers, something that is going to be able to keep you safe. So people can't just get into your IP address, people can't just get into your computers. You want to be able to have some kind of security on your devices, but also have security on your wallets. They have devices that now inside that are built into your wallets. So if somebody happens to walk around with a device, they can't scan and just get your credit card information. And like we said, if somebody does happen to call you or send you an email saying that they need this money urgently or whatever the case may be, always double check it, hang up, check the phone number, check the email, check that what they're talking about is actually legit.
Exactly.
And if it is a company, they're going to understand that you want to double check the information. If they're ever asking you for your social security number or any of your information, do not give it to them. Just hang up and make sure that it's not a scam before you give out any other information. And it's always important for you to talk to somebody that you trust, somebody that can definitely help you and protect you with these things, because like we said, women and elderly are the ones that really fall victim to this. So reach out to your family members, reach out to friends, anybody that you trust that can give you advice on this.
Definitely, a financial advisor as well that can be able to help you out, can be able to walk you through on how you can set yourself up and even your loved ones to always be protected against scams. You know?
And I think the biggest takeaway is just do not act quickly. Take your time. If it is a company, they'll understand. They'll let you be at ease. They'll give you peace of mind that they are actually a legit company. So take your time. Don't feel rushed. Don't feel pressured by any of the messages that you may receive, no matter how threatening or scary they may seem. definitely do your research and make sure it is not a scam, because a lot of the things that we're getting nowadays are scams and they're not actually coming from family members or companies. So definitely be safe out there and keep your purse close to you. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back.
The show isn't over yet. Don't change the channel. We will be right back with more Breaking the Silence.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
You are watching Breaking the Silence.
All right, so it's time to get real.
Yes.
And you better be ready. You better be prepared. I hope you are sitting down. If you are not sitting down, you need to be sitting down. Because this story that we're about to tell you is crazy, mind-blowing, insane. So we're going to be talking about the enigma of Doris Payne, AKA Granny Gem Thief.
Granny Gem Thief. That sounds like straight out of a movie or something. How you a granny and you here stealing gems and stuff?
That's what I'm saying. But you know how she got the name? Because she was caught at 86 years old, or 86 years young. 86.
Jeez.
86. She got caught shoplifting at no other place than Walmart.
OMG.
Yes.
That
Walmart.
Yes.
All right. But she is no stranger to getting arrested. She is no stranger to shoplifting. In fact, she has been to multiple countries. She has heisted multiple diamonds. And she has been doing this for 5 decades.
That is crazy.
5 decades.
So basically since she was a little girl, look.
Yes. Yes, so what you're looking at right now is all of her mugshots, right? And there's a huge gap from 1965 all the way to 2013. And during that time, she was using 22 different aliases. She was jet-setting all over the world doing her hustle, doing her scams.
You know, but listen, this here is like, she should have like her own movie and stuff, which I think she kind of, sort of, had a book later on down the line. But listen, from what I heard as well, you know, she started at a very, very young age. She started at a young age, which kind of like sparked that, I don't even want to say interest, but for lack of a better word, I'm going to say interest into just, you know, just stealing. And she won't go for anything like small or anything. She would go for like these huge, expensive places and things, you know, like walking into a jewelry store and, you know, just stealing a $22,000 ring. Like, how you do that, though?
Yes, so imagine. Okay, so she is known to steal these diamond rings worth thousands and thousands of dollars. But fast forward, we're going to talk a little bit about her history, right? And why she does what she does. But let's fast forward to when she gets nicknamed the Granny Gem Thief. So, at 86 years old, she is arrested at Walmart for shoplifting and for a total of $80 worth of merchandise.
That don't make no sense. I mean, throughout her entire lifetime, like, she was stealing stuff worth over $1 million, and you get caught at Walmart.
And she was actually,
something dollars.
$80. And she was actually on probation because she pled guilty for a crime where she was caught for stealing 2 diamond necklaces worth $2,000, which blows my mind, because it's like, what even drives this lady to do this? And this is something that's always fascinated me ever since I was young, is what makes people do the things that they do. Whenever I hear about these crimes happening on TV, it's always like, what makes this person do what they do? But eventually, people grow out of this lifestyle. They either grow out of it, they end up dead or in prison. So for somebody to be able to do this for 5 decades, that is exhausting. To be able to always be on the hustle, to be on the grind, to be moving. So something has to be motivating her to keep going, right?
Yeah.
So actually, one of the reasons she was in jail in 2014 when she actually gave an interview, and there she was talking about how, like, she sets out to go out and do a crime, she's gonna get it done, she's gonna come home with the diamond. That was her MO. Like, she was so confident in what she was doing. Nobody could do the crime better than her, and she was going to get away with it regardless. And so it comes to the question, like, is this an addiction of hers? Is this something deep-seated within her? Is this a psychological issue? Like, what is the issue that is causing her to have this kind of mindset towards crime? And so I'm asking you, viewers who are out there listening to this and hearing about her story, like, what is your opinion? What are your thoughts on her story? Why do you think that she is doing what she is doing? Do you think it's just pride? Do you think it's something that is inside of her? Is there something that happened in her childhood? We would love to hear from you. So go ahead and send in your responses to our Instagram page and let us know what you think about her story. Maybe you know a little bit about her and you are also blown away as I am with her story. So definitely send us that information. So go ahead.
It's just not about the money then, because I mean, for you to be doing this for over 5 decades, there was definitely something else that was going there. But I don't know, like, for her to get started at such a young age and do this for her entire life, and you were talking about, you were sharing with me something else about her story, that she got caught in a country that didn't have a prison for women, right?
Yes. So basically, she stole a ring. She stole a ring. This was the first time that she has stolen the ring outside of the United States. She stole the ring. She went to the airport and she had the ring on her. She was waiting for her airplane ride. So the one thing that she learned from this lesson was never stay in one spot after you've done the crime. You have to leave. And so the police come, they get her, she has the ring on her, so she doesn't want to make a big deal. But while she was in holdover, this is how sneaky she is. While she was in holdover, she tells them, oh, it's so cold in here, I need to blow my nose, can I have a tissue? And the officer gives her a tissue. Well, in the tissue, she had the ring in her hand, she put it in the ring. Then she tells them, well, it's so cold, let me just take one clothing off at a time, because they were going to strip search her for the ring. She tucks the ring into her pantyhose, and then she strip searches. They couldn't find the ring.
Yeah.
So basically she says, all right, I need nail clippers and I need a sewing kit because I need to hem my skirt and I need to fix my fingernails.
That is crazy.
She is under arrest looking at time for this theft, and she's worried about those things. And they give it to her. Do you know what she does? She sews the ring into the hem of her skirt.
That is crazy.
They arrest her. Her skirt with the diamond stays in custody for 9 months.
That is crazy.
While she is imprisoned in a hotel with a beautiful view, because they did not have a woman's prison.
In a hotel.
This was in Switzerland.
Didn't have a woman's prison. That is crazy.
For 9 months. They let her out. She gets her dress, and she goes back to the United States, and she sells the ring. That was just one incident. There was another incident where she got caught with the ring. She left the jewelry store. The officer stopped her on the road, said, hey, you were accused of stealing this ring. You're gonna have to come with me. And she said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I did not know that I stole the ring. It was a mistake. And the officer looked at her, saw the jewelry she had on her hand, saw the way that she was dressed, and was like, well, what she is wearing is so much, it's very expensive, it's very classy. So obviously she didn't mean to steal this ring. So he took the ring, and was like, okay, he took the ring and said, no problem, ma'am. I'm so sorry for this misunderstanding. Let me hail you a cab. He hails her a cab, and she takes off out of that country. And of course, he has the ring. But because of the way she carried herself and looked to be a woman of money and of class and of status, then it was like, okay, you know, we're going to let you go with that. And then those are just 2 incidents where she just slips out of the hands of the officers.
That is crazy.
Yes.
Listen, this is an amazing case study. It's ridiculous. But you know, surprisingly, she's still alive and well today, ripping and running. Hopefully, you know, she's been able to tone down a bit, because I mean, listen, it was just a couple of years ago that she got caught again. You know, from, you know, stealing rings, from getting locked up in so many different places. I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
But there's always a root. There's always a root for everything, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we need to talk about, and that's why we're talking about it on Getting Real, because it's not just about talking about her crime and how she was able to get away with it, but really, what is the root cause? And the root cause was that when she was growing up, she had an abusive father, and she saw the abuse that her mom had to deal with when it came to her dad. And so she swore to herself that she was never going to need a man to complete her. She wasn't ever going to rely on a man to support her financially. She was going to take care of her own, and that's exactly what she did. She never got married. She never wanted to have like any long-term relationships. She had her little flings here and there, but that was about as far as it went. So that's why we talk about on this show that we really have to be able to look at the root causes of things.
Exactly.
And take care of it. Go into therapy. Do what is needed, because at the end of the day, it really does, you know, guide our lives, guide our decisions. And so she was so far into it with this desire and need within her, this pride that I'm going to take care of myself, nobody else can do it. And of course, I mean, when you start walking around with all these rings and money and stuff, it's like, come on now, I'm who I am, and you know what, like, I'm good at what I do, so I'm not going to give it up.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, we really need to look at what is the root cause and to be able to heal that.
Because if we don't look at the root cause of things, we're gonna end up alone. We're gonna end up losing on more valuable things in life, chasing after money and chasing after this kind of independence that, you know, you feel that you are entitled to. But that also shows that at the same time, emotionally, you know, there is some type of emotional damage there. There is some type of, you know, issue, unresolved issue that needs to be addressed, you know?
Yeah. So her story is full of ups and downs.
It's crazy.
It is. You really need to do some research. If you've never heard of her, definitely do some research.
Yeah.
She actually has a documentary that was released in 2013, and I think they're coming out with another story, and she has a book that came out. So we can hear all, so we can hear all about her story, but it really just raises the question when it comes to criminal activity and age, and is there two that go together? Like, do you grow out of it? Do you not grow out of it? Yeah. So this raised so many questions, but I definitely had to bring it here for you on Getting Real. I hope you enjoyed this segment, and definitely go check out her story, because I was shocked when I was hearing about her story. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about grandchildren and grandparents on the other side of things.
Right.
Don't change the channel. We will be right back. You are watching Breaking the Silence.
On Breaking the Silence, we aim to broaden your horizons on a variety of topics.
Justification that comes with any addiction.
Beneficial advice you can use in your daily life.
But as you mature, you have to be with someone who matures with you.
Let's explore today's topic together on Breaking the Silence.
I am still blown away by her story. I know we're supposed to be getting into another topic, but I'm telling you, that lady, she must have been made out of butter because she was slipping and sliding out of everybody's hands. I don't know how she did.
Decades. Like how?
Granny.
How?
I don't know. But I wonder if she is making any arts and crafts and memories with her grandchildren.
Let's shed a different light of grannies.
Yes.
Because
first
they're
it's
not
grannies
always
that are
like
thieves,
that.
and now it's grannies that are doing arts and crafts with their grandkids. Right?
I hope she
One switch to the other.
And it's just...
She could be watching Breaking the Silence right now with her grandkids doing arts and crafts. We never know. So let us get into making memories, crafting with our grandchildren.
Yes.
It is such an important part of growing up, spending time with your grandparents, building these memories that last forever. And plus, grandparents, you got to take advantage of the opportunity while the kids still want to hang out and do things.
Because it's not, it's about the memories. It's about the memories. It's about the bond that you're creating. It's about a whole bunch of stuff. It's about, spoiling your grandkids and then giving them back to their parents and stuff, creating those crazy.
Spoil them rotten.
You know what I mean?
Send them back.
Exactly.
They have such a soft spot for grandkids, right? I remember my grandma would always spoil, or even my mom or my dad would be like, you're not supposed to be doing that, right? But we're gonna give our viewers right now some engaging activities, but also easy ones that they could take part of with their grandchildren.
Definitely.
Yeah, and doing arts and crafts, it just breeds so much creativity and bond and memories. It's so good for the kids because then the kids get to problem solve and get to explore in different areas while building memories with their grandparents.
And it's something as well that once they make it, once they create it, is something that they cherish and even carry with them for life. The grandkids grow, they become grandparents themselves, and they're still cherishing that one thing that they crafted with their grandparents. So that right there is just memories that, oh my goodness.
Oh, and for the grandparents, it's something even richer for them, right?
It is.
So they have some hand-printed keepsakers. So these hand-printed crafts are timeless. So they are non-toxic, which is great. They have so many paints nowadays that the kids can. Kids love making a mess. They love making a mess, creating beautiful art that doesn't always stay on the paper, but they create this beautiful art. But the grandparents love to be able to have the art that the kids make with their handprint or with their feet or whatever they like to draw with, and just have it all over their refrigerator, sometimes even framing these little pieces of art. These are such great little time savers. You can keep savers, you just have them there and always remember them. And as they grow up, you see their little handprint is still there.
So
be like,
cute.
I remember when.
And also, of course, what are kids if it's not by slime? There was one time, there was this kid came to me with this slime, and I was like, what is it? For us adults, it could be a little bit I don't know, when I touch it, it was not that engaging for me. However, for kids, because it is a sensory delight for them, because that's when they develop, their touch, their sense of touch, their sense of, all of that. It's developing, and also it's going to be good for grandparents, because that's when you get older and maybe you need some practice to get your sensory back again. So it's like an activity both for grandparents and also for grandkids.
And
so
also,
it's going to be really good.
And also for cool aunts, because
you too?
My sister-in-law, the look I got on her face when my nephew got that from me, because it was a slime kit. I was like, that's so fun. No, I love playing like this.
No, I don't know, for me.
It's slimy, it's a whole situation, but I was like, it's going to be so much fun. And she's like, he can play with that at your house. He is not going to be doing that at my house. But that's something like you said with the grandparents. It's like grandparents can do all these fun little things. And cool aunts can too. And be able to give them all this stuff that's going to cause a big mess, but let it do it at their parents' house.
Not in your house.
I know, right? And then we also have nature scavenger hunt crafts that you can be able to do with your grandkids, whether it's at a park or whether it's in the backyard of your home, you can be able to do these things as well. Collect leaves, collect twigs, flowers, natural materials, and with that you can be able to do nice arts and crafts with them. I remember growing up in the fall, that's something that I used to do. We used to collect, whenever the leaves turned colors, we used to collect them, like the yellow ones, the orange ones, the green ones, and we would kind of like glue them on like construction paper and do a whole bunch of things, and then write something nice to give it to our grandparents or our parents and stuff. So that's one of the things that you can be able to do with the nature. And, apart from soaking in, nature itself and enjoying that moment in outdoors, you can also be able to take it back in, sit with your children, and do these nice, wonderful crafts. So that's another good one as well that you can do.
Another thing that I wanted to share as well is storytelling. Especially grandparents, they love like animating even their voices, changing their voices so that their grandkids would actually be involved in that storytelling time. And grandparents, they like to do like all this crazy, become a little bit more like weird or become a little strange, because that's when you catch like children's attention, not when you're monotone and you just like with one voice. You need to be animated. You need to do all sorts of things, like like make them be in that fairy tale, and that's when they started to listen, and they would enjoy it, even if it's something that with a story that would probably not a lot of kids would enjoy, but because you made it so entertaining for them, they would actually enjoy it.
And you can also do something as simple as just like personalizing like a frame, a photo frame. I know so many grandparents that just love those frames that have been hand painted, got glitter of all different colors all over the frame, and then you just put your picture of you and your grandparents in it, and that is something that they will treasure forever. Because it's something that is so unique, and it was made out of love and inspiration and just thankfulness of everything that grandparents do in a child's life. So they really, really treasure those things. They are, normally they just have a whole lot of colors all over it and all kinds of paint, but it's so cute, and it's just, it's stuff that grandparents will really, really treasure. So taking something as simple as just a plain old picture frame and decorating that is also a great memory.
You just reminded me. No, we didn't make one, but a couple of years back, I want to say, a couple of years back, we had kind of like a family gathering, a family reunion / birthday for my grandmother. She was turning, I want to say 91 at the time. And everyone came together, and it was really nice because we even got to meet family members that we never met before. But coming together, we noticed that my grandmother lived through 5 generations. Oh, wow. 5 generations. So the youngest one in that family reunion was 3 months old. So what we did is we took pictures. First it was her kids, and then it was her grandkids, and then it was her great grandkids, and then the great grandkids. So it was really nice. And so back home, my mom, she has kind of like this wall where she has those pictures as well with all those generations. My grandmother has passed on now, but you see that it was like, wow, it was a memory that everyone embraces, that everyone looks at that wall and they're like, wow, like this family is huge, and she got to live through 5 generations. Wow. That right there is nice. So yeah, those picture frames and stuff, they definitely do. They're really nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
That is. And so it's like, if you are a grandparent, you definitely want to adapt your arts and crafts to the age of your grandchildren, right? I remember when I was little, I used to do because my grandma and my mom, my whole family, they like to knit. Like that was a big thing that they would do, either knitting or like coloring. They really enjoyed doing that. So I remember when I was little, I would sit with them and try and like knit with them and kind of like keep up the pace with them.
I remember not too long ago on the show, you mentioned that you bought a knitting kit or something like that. Have you gotten started with that?
No.
No. Francisca, you gotta call your grandma and sit with her.
That would be a little difficult. She has also passed on. But my mom has definitely picked it up. So she is the one that is knitting, and when it was really cold outside, she was knitting and like giving out scarves to the homeless people. So, but then if you have children that are a lot younger, you can do like Play-Doh or color or I mean, kids of all ages love to get into paint and just make art, not a mess. Sorry. Make art. I was going to say something else. Make art. Yes, with the paint. So, and just create an area for the arts and crafts. Something that is, you know, you want to make sure that you're laying down the tarp if you're playing with paint. You know, maybe even be outside, so then you can just hose off the kids when you're done. But these are memories that last forever, and you really need to invest in
and
it.
not even worrying about the cleanup. Like you just said, a lot of times people, you know, because of the cleanup or the mess that might happen after everything, after all the glitter and all the glue and all the leaves and all these crazy things, people just don't focus on that. Don't focus on that at all. Just focus on creating those memories that are definitely going to last and that are making a great impact on your grandchildren.
Exactly. But definitely do it outside. So all you got to do is take the hose to it, and you don't have to worry about anything else. All right, so we're done with grannies for now.
And crafts.
And crafts. I'm still thinking about that other granny.
About the other granny.
But that's okay. That's all right. So now let us switch gears, and we're going to get into our question of the day. All right, so now it is time for us to read our responses from our lovely viewers who love to send in your responses. We get so many different responses, and we love to read them all, but unfortunately we can only pick three. So we actually have those responses, but before we get into the responses, let us remind our viewers what the question of the day is. So what does lifting each other up mean to you? And this is a big question, I think, especially for women.
It really is.
Lifting each other up. So let us go ahead and look at our first response from Shayna. Supporting your girls when they're happy and when they're down, not just one or the other. Exactly.
Okay, yes.
Exactly.
For
That
sure.
is so important to be able to, because if they're your friend, they're going to be with you for your highs and your lows.
Yes.
And love you regardless.
Exactly. All right, thank you for that, Shayna. So we do have our next comment, which is from Antonia. To me, it means being an active listener. Wow. Yes, that is true. Because whether it's something good or it's something bad, when you're an active listener, you're letting that person know, hey, look, I'm here with you. I hear you, I see you, I respect it, and I'm here. Whatever it is that you need, yes. If you need me to lift you up, if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm here. And if you have something good going on, I'm right there cheering right along with you. So that was definitely good. Thank you, Antonia.
We have another one coming from Skylar. Giving compliments to people on things others may not, but you know the person worked hard on. Like saying your eyeliner looks really good today instead of, I like your shoes.
Okay, I like that one, Skylar.
Noticing like those little things that
definitely. Francisca, your eyeliners, they looking flawless, girl. I like it.
What about my shoes?
Your shoes.
I saw your eyeliner first.
Just the eyeliner.
All right, so
What about you?
Get off my eyeliner. Get off my eyeliner and answer the question. How do you lift each other up?
What does
What does that
lifting
mean?
each other up mean to you? So for me, lifting Francisca up means getting on her nerves day and night.
Sorry.
The moment that I walk, why are you laughing?
Here we go.
Honest
But my mind went somewhere else when you said lifting me up. I said, how's she lifting
Not
me
that kind of lifting.
I'm sorry.
It's a different
Lift me up.
Oh my goodness.
All right, sorry.
Francisca,
I'm
okay.
sorry, guys.
You know, I was having a deep moment here where, you know, I was just sharing.
Hey, this is supposed to be
what it means to me.
a serious answer.
So sorry.
Could you get it together,
Yes,
Francisca?
I am together.
Oh, you were together.
Walking in the building and annoying her first thing in the morning, you know, that's what it means to me to
Oh
lift
my
her
God.
up, you know. Because whether she's not awake yet, I'm there to wake her up.
Be her
there to
alarm.
give her headaches, gray hairs, and stuff like that. So that's what it means. Yes.
And I cut a lot of them noise.
How many do you have now?
Well, right now I don't have that many.
But okay, it's getting better.
Come back in 6 weeks.
It's getting better.
When the nories start growing back.
They right there. Look, they're seeing it.
We don't see any of the nories.
That's part of the lifting each other up.
What about you, Francisca?
Lifting each other up, it's kind of like what the first comment said.
Yeah.
It's being there for people in the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
And I think it's not so much in the highs, because if they're already on a high, they're good. They don't need lifting up. But encouraging them in the lows.
Yeah.
And making sure that even though they're going through a difficult moment, even though they're having a hard time, to help them see the good in the situation. Help them to see the silver lining. I always believe that there's a silver lining into everything. There's a good in everything. You just have to find it. And when you focus on that good, then it's like everything else will fall to the wayside. But sometimes you need that friend to be there to help you to find it. And that friend is definitely not Nori, because all she does is send negative things my way, more problems and more problems.
That rejection, that rejection.
I mean, she already said she gave me the gray hairs. And I think she told me before on another program that I wasn't her best friend.
Whoa! I don't think so.
But I'm not salty about that.
The drama you don't see, the behind the scenes, anyways.
What about you, Angeline?
For me, it's the opposite. Putting you down. That means when you don't put another person down. So that's lifting each other up, because sometimes the other person is already, going through something, and then you still put them down. So I mean, come on. Instead of, although sometimes they don't want you there, or not even for you to say a word, so don't even put them down. Push them to that, black hole that they're already in. So yeah, for me that's.
Okay, all right.
Well, let's just keep lifting each other up. I'm gonna lift Nori up.
All the way.
There's some work she needs to do up on the ceiling.
Okay, all right. Play me,
Let's get it
y'all.
together.
It's okay though. I still love you, Francisca.
That's okay. I still love you too. It's all right. We have our own love language over here, giving each other a hard time. That's
that is the lifting each other up.
And for all of our viewers out there, we're going to show you a little bit of love by taking a break, and then we will be right back.
We will be right back with more Breaking the Silence.
We all face challenges in life that test our faith. It's in those moments of doubt and fear that faith is truly stretched to its limits. But no matter what challenges come our way, faith needs to be our guiding light. Find your strength of faith and join Bishop Joshua on weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on the Showdown of Faith.
You are watching Breaking the Silence.
I feel so close to y'all right now. I just feel like so close to y'all. We could just go make some memories, some arts and crafts together.
Let's go do some arts
But
and crafts.
seriously, let me have some space.
Really?
You know I love y'all. I love y'all. I love being here with you. And we had such a great time today on today's program, whether we were talking about consumers, making sure that the women and the seniors are not falling victim to scams, as well as the elderly that are making memories with their grandchildren, as I am making it with y'all.
Definitely, always. We're always making memories here on Silence, right?
Yes.
All the time. Unique experiences.
But yeah, another tip though for those elderly people and women who are being targeted as well. When it comes to like your documents and stuff like that, another tip would be to either, soak them in water and stuff like that. Shred. If you don't have a shredder, then soak them in water, let it dissolve and stuff. Always keeping your stuff, your personal information really, really safe, and not just leaving anything anyhow, so other people can be able to get your information. That was definitely a really eye-opener. To all of us.
And I never thought about putting my papers in water. That's a genius idea.
If you don't have a shredder,
because I don't have
that's
a shredder.
another way to do it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That is a great idea. And we got in Getting Real.
Listen,
got real.
y'all
They really
need
got
to
real.
read up on that story
got
because
real.
it was crazy.
It is insane.
Your whole life, you've been traveling all around the world doing these crazy things and cashing in on these things. Like,
She
made a name for herself.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Doesn't matter how old you are, you can still get out there and get it. But don't do it.
Not with her method. Not with her method, okay?
Don't do it. You stay at home and you watch Kings. You don't go out and hustle, okay?
Not
go
her
out there,
method.
stay at home, watch Kings Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and the recaps Saturday and Sunday. Behave yourself and enjoy the Kings with your family and with your friends. Only do research, but don't learn from her.
Hey, please don't. Disclaimer.
All right. So I hope you enjoyed this show and you got some good, useful information from us. But this is all the time that we have for you today. We will see you next time. Bye.
What type of stuff is you on? Say I'm gone. So